Well, that's definitely a good point, but one major point for the Irish. And welcome to the broadcast for O'Day versus Seattle Prep. We're getting ready to kick off here as both teams just trotted their way out onto the field. Student sections rowdy, O'Day in white tops and black pants with Prep in blue tops and white pants. Kicker Saverio DeSimone puts the ball up on the tee and gets ready to go here on a chilly night at West Seattle Stadium. It's Harlan Grady and Luke Hardy here on the call, ready to get you a great rival game here between two of the best teams in the Metro League. And the kick is away. It's a squib, going to be picked up short, and they're attempting to run it back. Number 2, Eli Black will take it, and he is up around the 25 as he will get taken down. And that is where the first drive of the game will start for the Seattle Prep Panthers. What do you think, Luke?
I think we got a good game ahead of us, Harlan. Both teams are coming out here tonight, both wanting this victory badly. O'Day definitely wants this win after coming from a 20-3 loss against Lake Stevens 2 weeks ago and then having their game last week get canceled. They've had plenty of time to practice, and they've had a lot of time to prepare for this game.
All right, well, that's a good point, but Prep coming off a loss too will be excited to see how their first drive goes here on offense. And it'll be senior quarterback coming out, Braden Smith, number 3, a star, risen to power out of nowhere for this Prep team. Held back into the shotgun, 5 wide for the Panthers. 1 in motion, jet sweep. He'll take the snap and hand it off. That'll be number 81. Chased down by Ascendre Afua and taken down in the backfield for a loss of 5. What a play by the big man, number 54, Ascendre Afua, to take down number 81 for the Panthers, Wyatt Mitchke. He is their big tight end, a big threat when he gets into the open field, but that was an incredible tackle to limit them. Here the Prep Panthers will line up again. Braden Smith in the shotgun, 5 wide, takes the snap, drops back to pass, looks up, and his pass is complete. That'll be number 88, Jack Belling, senior captain. Oh, nope, ruled incomplete on the field. And that will set up a 3rd down and long for the Panthers. Here we go. Braden Smith looking out wide. They're going to have 4 receivers to his left, 1 to his right in the shotgun. Fakes the snap. Now looks over to his bench. They're going to go talk to his center real quick, call out an audible. There they go, calling out the lineman. Braden Smith back in the gun, takes the snap, drops back to pass rush coming, unloads, and that is swatted away by number 4. That'll be safety Kyan McDonald on the bat away, but it looks like there's some flags on the field. And that'll set up a 4th down and long, but we'll see what the call is here from the men in black. Here comes the call. It'll be holding on the defense, and it'll be a repeat of 3rd down. Here we go. That'll move from what was a very momentous opportunity for the Irish into 3rd and short here, and we'll see what they want to play call. What do you think, Luke? What's coming up? Looks like they'll get a full set of rotations here. Number 3, Braden Smith, back to pass with 4 receivers out wide and a tight end on the end of his line. Takes the snap, drops back, look to pass, short pass is complete, and he is hit and dropped by both number 15, Tyler Bugby, and number 11, Dane Camacho. And it looks like that'll be good enough for a Prep 1st down. On the catch there was number 15, Reed Johnson. He's their big tight end. They'll look to him for those short gain opportunities, and he'll make the most of them with that big frame he has at 6'4". Braden Smith with 1 in the backfield here will drop back, trips left, 1 to his right. Out of the back, will motion to his right, takes the snap, and he will drop back to pass. Looks well covered, but the catch is made by number 88, and he will be caught and dropped by number 4, Kyan McDonald, and number 7, Zach Newsom. Well, what do you think of this Panther drive so far, Luke?
I think the Panthers are doing really good, but they got to remember that O'Day is a very good team. They all have great chemistry together. They work hard at practice, and they all have really great athletes on their team. and after coming from a loss, they're definitely going to want to get a win right now.
Well, that's a great point, as number 3, Braden Smith, drops back and takes the pass and will hand it off to number 2, Eli Black, who is taken down in the backfield again. Number 54, Isendre Afua. He has made 2 excellent plays in this game so far. This will be 3rd down and about 5 for the Panthers. 1 tight end on the line. They're going to have 3 receivers to his right and 1 to his left. He's going to go, call an audible, looking to his bench. In the shotgun. Takes the snap, looks back to pass, and it looks like he'll air it out, and it'll be over the head of number 5, Will Floyd. And that'll set up a 4th down for the Panthers. And it looks like the offense will stay out. This will be an impressive move here. We'll see if it pays off for the Panthers. You got to think there's a pass coming the way this drive has looked. Number 88 in motion across. Braden Smith will look to his backs. This has been an impressive drive, but they're going to, oh, it looks like he's going to back up and going to pooch punt here. And that punt will be, take a good Panther bounce. Wow, and be down at about the 12-yard line. But there was flags thrown, so we'll have to see if that call affects this at all. Well, Luke, that was a pretty strong first Panther drive, as the call will be coming in here. A little bit of confusion here on the field, it seems. False start on the offense. That penalty will be declined, and it is Irish ball. Out come the Irish. Luke, what do you think?
I think that O'Day has a really good shot here right now, but they still got to focus on some key aspects. And tonight that I think some of the key aspects that they got to work on is make sure that their O-line blocks exactly where they need to be. Because O'Day is definitely more of a running team, and with all of this blocking, it can definitely help them out later on throughout the game.
I totally agree, as John Kohler will hand it off to star sophomore Jason Brown, who breaks a few tackles, makes a few cuts, and will be down for a gain of 2. Well, that's not exactly a shocker, as we know this Irish team loves to use their star backer, Jason Brown. We know that John Kohler will hand it off to him a lot. They love to they love to dink and dunk the offense up the field, but they'll make a splash as well. I think one important factor here for the Irish tonight is that their starting all-Metro center, Oliver Braich, is out with a lower leg injury. And at his place is Dylan Cohen, who will, I'm sure, make a fine replacement. Speaking of Dylan Cohen, snaps the ball to Kohler, and the handoff is to Jason Brown, who breaks it, 2 tackles, and he's loose down the right sideline. He's going to the 20, to the 10, gone! Touchdown, Irish! Oh my goodness, that's that explosive speed from Brown. And there looks to be a flag down back on the 30-yard line or so, and looks like this play might be coming back, but as it stands, that's a touchdown. Here comes the signal. Holding on the offense, so that play will come down. How unfortunate, because that was quite the play by Jason Brown to break a few tackles and get loose down the right sideline. Well, sometimes it happens like that, but no matter what happens there, you know that they're feeling energized from that play. It's a big penalty, and you never want to see that, so it'll back up their drive a little bit, but they're still feeling good. Luke, what do you think about that?
I think that with O'Day having that run, that was more of an alert call for prep, and they got to make sure that they can't let this happen. O'Day has a really strong offense, and they know how to get the ball from their side of the field down to the end zone in one play.
Totally agree. 2nd down and 4 here for the Irish as they huddle up, something that Seattle Prep was not doing earlier in this game. And they will line up with 2 backs and 2 receivers with a tight end on the line. Big tackle Keith Hendershot will look to make a few good blocks off the line. As the handoff is to fullback number 47, that'll be Georgios Kotsakis up the middle, and that could be good to move the chains. 1st down Irish. Well, Luke, I'd say that's pretty momentous coming off the big penalty. What do you think?
I think that Seattle Prep has to make sure that they cannot let this happen. And some key factors for Seattle Prep's defense right now is to get their blocks over O'Day's blocks. Because when O'Day gets their blocks, they can get any gap open and they can have a run play through any one of those. Seattle Prep has got to make sure that they have all those gaps closed and covered if they want to stay in this game.
Totally agree, but sometimes it's just hard when you're facing an offensive line the likes of what Coach Kohler likes to build here at O'Day. One of my favorite quotes from him earlier this season, as the handoff will be to I think that's number 35, Ben Hardy up the middle for a gain of about 3, and that'll set it up second down and 6 or 7. Oh, never mind. That was a gain of 5. Wow, a helpful spot for O'Day, and that'll make it at 2nd and 5. Yeah, one of my favorite quotes before the season. Hopefully we can build an offensive line. If you know anything about O'Day football, that's where we live and die is up front. That's what Coach Monty Kohler said previous to this season. And, well, he's definitely right about that. This O'Day team relies on their line heavily to make sure they're getting good running plays and establishing that run early. Wow, there was a missed block there as quarterback John Kohler gets absolutely pounded through the A gap, but the handoff will still be successful, and that'll be number 6, Jason Brown, up the middle for a few yards. And that'll make it 3rd and about medium. A little gain of about 4 should do it here for the Irish, but they're going to need it in a big way here. You're trying not to let this first drive stall out. What do you think, Luke? Do they need some drives on this? Do they need some points on this drive to establish dominance?
They definitely do. With O'Day having some amazing plays in this first drive right now, it should definitely be motivating Prep to step up.
Oh, I totally agree, and that will be good enough for the first down as sophomore Jason Brown takes it up the middle. Wow, he is so powerful, always keeping those legs moving, always keeping them churning and making sure that he's getting good yardage no matter what the blocking. Luke, what were you saying there?
I was saying that if O'Day wants a better chance at winning this game, they got to score first. They got to show that they aren't playing around. They mean business right here, and they want to get this win right here.
Oh, totally agree. As that'll be a wide receiver screen to number 5, Joe Gallagher, who will take it up for a gain of 9. Wow, that was some impressive blocking from Sam Lipscomb off the edge, and that will be good enough for a gain of 9 and set up 2nd and very short. Here he goes. The handoff is to Kotsakis up the middle, and he gets loose, and that will be good for a gain of about 13 up the middle, but there's flags fly on the play. Could it be another costly penalty for the Irish, who've had just one too many of those early in this game? Yep, looks like it will be another penalty on the Irish. Wow, they've had just one too many of those here in the early going, and it's really stalled their offense from getting anything going. You've got to think that if they're going to have any success on offense, they're going to need to tighten up that offense, make it cleaner, and just overall eliminate those penalties if they're going to get this drive going. What do you think, Luke?
I think that O'Day should focus on their runs right now because O'Day is definitely more of a running team. And if they want to pass the ball, they have to make sure that they will get it to where it intends to go. Otherwise, it could end badly. Exactly.
And one part of having that powerful pass offense through number 8, John Kohler, is establishing the run early. You want to make sure that Prep is scared enough of your backs to let your wide receivers go free. And that'll be a nice gain of about 6 for Jason Brown on 2nd and 7. That'll set up just first down and short. Well, really impressive what this offense has been able to do here regardless of the penalties from their offensive line. And looks like they'll set up again with 2 backs and 2 wide receivers. And John Kohler will take it himself, and that'll be good enough for an Irish first down, a gain of about 4. And it's been really impressive the way they've been able to keep this drive moving. Wow. Luke, what can you say about the ability of this Irish offense to drive on this Prep defense with all these penalties?
I can surely tell you that I am definitely not surprised by this drive right here. But also what Prep has to focus on, they know that O'Day's offense is very strong. So they have to make sure that their defense is ready to come out and not mess around with them. They got to make sure that they're on their A game.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Let's see what happens here. That's the pitch to Jason Brown. Follows his blockers, makes a few cuts, breaks a few tackles, and he's up for a great gain of about 8, and that'll set up second down and short. Well, Luke, I think you could agree with me here, but second down and short is really where the Irish thrive. They love getting their big boys out in front of the play, out in front of their strong, fast backs, and letting them get to short, second down and short, where really you can have any play call you want.
I agree with you 100% there. That's what O'Day does best.
I wouldn't be surprised if right here they felt safe enough to have a deep pass to number 18 Tucker Ashcraft or to maybe senior wide receiver Joe Gallagher, just because they know they have 2 downs to secure the first down. And that's not what they'll do. Is Jason Brown will be up the middle, break a few tackles, and be dragged down around the 20-yard line for a gain of 10 or 13, and that will be good for another Irish first down. How about this opening drive?
This opening drive has definitely been something very good for O'Day right now. Their blocking has been very good so far. They've been able to get a lot of good running plays right now and a few passing plays, but they've mainly focused on runs.
Definitely agree, and there they go again, just establishing that run. Wow, it has certainly been a tough ground and pound drive, but it's taken a lot off of this defense. You know, these early drives where you're just pounding it down the throat of the Prep Panthers early in this game will pay off later, as that was 35, Ben Hardy on the carry. I mean, it's really something else to watch this offense drive no matter the situation, and that'll definitely take a toll on this Prep defense when it gets to the third quarter and fourth quarter. So they're going to line up another 2 backs with Joe Gallagher and CJ Jackson out wide. Sam Lipscomb out wide. It looks like they may have just drawn an offsides, finally a penalty going the other way against Prep. We'll see what the call is here. Looks like encroachment against the defense, and that'll move it up far enough to be a first down for the Irish, I would guess. Let's see what the call is here. Nope, it's going to remain second down, and they'll have a second down and 1 or 2, as they'll have 2 receivers out wide. That'll be Joe Gallagher and Sam Lipscomb out wide for the Irish. 2 backs in the backfield. Here we go. Let's see what they do here, Luke. And that's Jason Brown. Looks like there's nobody ahead of him, and he'll take it in for the touchdown. Wow, what incredible blocking. He didn't even encounter one Prep Panther on his way to the end zone. That's the price of those big drives. Sometimes you just break off one of those plays. There was nobody to stop Jason Brown. He'll take that one in for an easy 6 points. That'll be an Irish touchdown. Nothing new for the sophomore.
Yeah, Harlan, with O'Day getting that touchdown right now, that puts Seattle Prep in a position that they do not want to be in. When Seattle Prep's losing right now, that shows that O'Day will score on them and they will stomp on them this whole game. Seattle Prep's defense has got to step up if they want to do better right now.
Totally agree as Severio steps in. Wow, that was a high snap, but he'll bring it down. John Kohler brings it down, sets it down perfectly for Severio DeSimone, who puts it through the uprights, and that will make it 7-0. What an impressive opening drive. We'll be right back when the Prep Panthers start their opening drive here on YouTube. And here we go again live on YouTube as the Irish will kick it off after a strong opening drive to make it 7-0 following the extra point from Severio DeSimone. I'm Harlan Grady.
And I'm Luke Hardy back here on the on YouTube today.
On YouTube today, a new stream for our Fighting Irish as Severio DeSimone will put another kick, a squib kick, and it will be taken by the Panthers, who will run it up. They have some space up the middle, and he will take that down to about the 35. An impressive run back there. Well, Luke, one thing I'm intrigued by is that the O'Day, every time they kick it off, seems to have a squib kick. Why do you think that is?
They probably have a squib kick so that potentially when they touch the ball and they miss it, they're able to recover this and be really close to the end zone, exactly where O'Day plays best. And they're able to score easily and get more points on that board.
Totally agree, but don't you think that it would be key to have them farther back in their own end zone to start the drive?
It could be, but in tough situations, it could be well for them to have it down on the other side so that they could get points easily when they're in a close situation.
You're right, I hadn't thought about that. Well, it'll be number 3, Braden Smith, out there quarterbacking with number 2, Eli Black in the backfield. And he'll take the snap and drop back to pass. It looks like he'll step up and try to run, but he's dragged down by number 56. What a play by Anthony Hall. Wow. This defensive line, early from the Irish has shown what they're all about, making sure they're making their presence known early. I mean, Luke, you've seen it. Mark Naboo and Nasendre Afua have made their presence known early on this line.
They definitely have, Harlan. O'Day has a very strong offensive and defensive line, and it's really hard to break sometimes. But when you do on the opposing side, you get a really good job for your team, and you get a lot of yards put on the board.
Oh, yeah, totally agree. And there was the carry there from Prep, gains them almost nothing, and it'll be 3rd down and 10 here. Not exactly where you want to be for Prep because, you know, against this tough O'Day defense, they have a stout line, but their passing defense is just as good. And right now they're going to need to start to be able to pass the ball if they're going to want to get first downs. It'll be a little screen out to 88, Jack Velling, and he'll be brought down for a gain of 1, and that will set up 4th and long for the Panthers, and we'll see what they do here. My goodness, this Irish defense has been nothing short of impeccable early. A few penalties. Other than that, they've been totally great, making sure that the Prep Panthers haven't gotten too good field position early in this game as the 4th quarter ticks away slowly but surely. Back to kick for the Prep Panthers, and that'll be a short punt, but it'll take a nice friendly Prep bounce, and it'll be down at about the 35, and that is where the Irish will take over. Well, Luke, what did you think about that Prep drive? Short, not so sweet, and a big drive for the Irish to establish their dominance up front.
I definitely agree with you, Harlan, and they got the ball close to the center of the field with
definitely where you want to be. Yep. Continue. Sorry.
No, you're all good. But with a few good plays from the O'Day Irish, they can definitely get the ball into the end zone. And I feel like a big perk that O'Day has is how their players range from a variety of different types of people. They have big guys. They have fast guys. They have everything that you need to have a solid football team.
Oh, I totally agree with you on that. And it'll be critical to see if they can break out some big plays here, as they've done nothing but dink and dunk up the field on their last drive. An impressive drive, a tiring drive, yes, but no big plays, as that'll be Jason Brown up the middle, and he'll stiff arm, break a few tackles, and be brought down, but it'll be a gain of almost 20 before he stumbles and falls, and that is exactly what you want from star sophomore number 6, Jason Brown. My goodness, that was impressive. He just does not get tackled. It's hard to bring him down. He always keeps his feet moving, and he's always on the move. And he's so fast. I mean, Luke, what is there to say about him that hasn't already been said, really?
I really don't know, Harlan. I feel like everything that has been needed to be said has already been said multiple times. And this just goes to show you that this is what O'Day does best. When they work together and they have good chemistry and they do their job, they get a lot of yards on plays like this. And it helps them out very much throughout these games.
Oh, that's true. And that will wrap up the end of the first quarter with the Irish having the lone points. It is 7-0 as we start the second quarter here in West Seattle. We'll talk to you all in just a second. And welcome back to West Seattle Stadium. We are in the middle of a dead race here at the start of the second quarter. The Irish will be on offense over the 50-yard line, starting this drive on the 35, but Jason Brown with an impressive carry to start it off. And it looks like they'll go into this with two backs in the backfield. So they go down, and that will be another handoff to Jason Brown up the middle, and he will just stumble forward as he always does for a gain of 3 or 4. It's been impressive to see, you know, these O'Day backs, they just follow their blockers, and their blockers are so good. I mean, really, what can you say about this offensive line? Because they have Mark Naboo and Dylan Cohen and Keith Hendershot and Ascendre Afua and all those guys, you know, that's probably like a large industrial truck worth of human. That's just too much to block. I mean, that's really something else, as they've been just ground and pounding up the middle here. And that'll be another handoff to Jason Brown, but what a play by the Panthers to get through that A-gap. That is number 44. What a play by Austin Hartino. Wow. I mean, again, that's just an amazing play all around. He gets through the gaps. He hits his gap with speed and with power, and he brings down the elusive Jason Brown in the backfield. That'll drop the Irish to 3rd down and long. I mean, what about that play? What did you see in that play that just demonstrates all of what Austin Hartino is for that team, Luke? I mean, he is just a leader both in the weight room and on the field for the Panthers.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% there, Harlan. I think that Seattle Prep has been doing really well on defense right now. They've been able to hold O'Day to 3 and long right here. And if they can do one more play, it'll help Prep out very much.
And there it was again, Austin Hartino looking like he was helping out on the coverage with number 11, Bill Violi, also a linebacker. And that will make it 4th down and long for the Irish, who seem to have no intention of punting here. Well, that was a nice piece of pass coverage there, wasn't it? And, I mean, again, it's Austin Hartino, number 44, the big boy in the middle of this defense. They like to run their 3-4, which, if you don't know, means they have 3 linemen up front and 4 linemen back. And right there, that was 2 linebackers on the coverage of Joe Gallagher, and that was just a great play. Kohler looks to the sideline, bends down, takes the snap. There will be no handoff. He'll roll out to his left. He'll look downfield, and he'll just have to get rid of it. Prayers up, and that was to number 18, Tucker Ashcraft, but it will fall to the ground, batted incomplete by the Panthers, who will take over on downs. Wow. I mean, that's just impressive from the Panthers. What do you think about that, Luke?
I think that play right there, it was a little risky. Definitely, if they were going to do it right now, it'd be a lot less riskier than compared to later on throughout the game. But I think that's something that O'Day does very well here in these scenarios is adapt, considering that last season ended very shortly and a lot sooner than regular seasons, and they lost a lot of valuable players. They've adjusted to all these changes very fast.
Totally agree. And out come the Panthers on offense, looking to score their first points of the game here with 10 minutes in the second quarter. Looks deep. Braden Smith over the shoulder, and that will just fall to the ground. Looks like he never even saw it. That pass was intended for Will Floyd, but who was defended closely by sophomore again, Kyan McDonald. He's really been all over the field tonight, don't you think, Luke?
I think he has, yeah. He's had a lot of great plays this game. I doubt that he's going to stop doing great plays. I bet that he's going to be a star player throughout this game right now.
Oh, totally agree. And that's one big category for the Irish is their underclassmen impressing early so far between Kyan and Jason Brown and Ascendre Afua. And that will be a jet sweep to number 2, Eli Black, who will take it but be stopped short by a bunch of white jerseys. And that will make it 3rd down and long for Prep, No, that will make it 3rd down and long for the Panthers, who have had a tough time getting it started on offense. What do you think the play call here is, Luke?
I could see Prep doing a lot of different things. I could see them trying to go for a pass to get more yards, but I probably would guess that they would be going for a pass because I feel like a run would be too risky right now. Because if they fall early on, then it's 4th down, and they can't risk going that far and letting O'Day take over right there.
Totally agree with you, as that will be a jet sweep and great blocking by Eli Black, and we'll see if he can make the tackle off the edge, and he does. Number 27, Trey Stokes, making the play that was desperately needed for the Irish there, as he was the lone man preventing A long Prep touchdown there. That was an impressive play. You saw the Prep Panthers going with some trickery. Maybe we can get an instant replay on that. Saw the Prep Panthers going for an instant, and sorry, that function is out, but it looks like they'll be back out to Prep again, to punt again, excuse me. And that was just an all-around impressive play by Captain Trace Stokes. That's what you want out of your seniors. That's what you want out of these leaders for the Irish. And I don't know how you can overstate the importance that these older guys have to this O'Day defense. They're really tone setters, and they make sure to. And look at that, it'll be a fake punt. The punter will throw deep for number 44, and it will be intercepted by Cam McDonald, intercepted by the young sophomore, and O'Day will take over. Wow, what a play. Aware on the fake punt, looks like he had it all the way and makes an excellent play on the ball to turn the ball over. Oh my goodness. Getting absolutely mobbed on the O'Day sideline. That is a huge play. Oh my goodness. I mean, what were we just saying about him, Luke? Come on, tell me.
I mean, we were just saying that we're going to say his name more times throughout this night. And, I mean, 2
Oh
minutes
my
later,
goodness.
he gets an interception. And he got the fans going crazy. He got the sideline going crazy. Everyone on O'Day's side was cheering for this man right here.
That's absolutely right. That was an amazing play. And we already said we were going to be saying his name more, so sorry, but it's just going to keep happening. I wouldn't be surprised if he makes another few big plays here, even in the second quarter, let alone the rest of the game. And out come the Irish on offense, led by quarterback John Kohler, who takes the snap and hands it off to sophomore Jason Brown, who finds a hole, and he's going, and he's tripped up. What a play by number, I believe that was 32 for Prep, who would be Miles Campbell. Oh my goodness, what a play tackling Jason Brown in the open field. What's up, Luke?
Something that I think that Jason Brown can do very well is, considering that running back is not an easy position to be playing at all, he's very well at getting a few more yards after having made contact with someone. He's always able to get at least 1 or 2 extra yards, which definitely helps out O'Day.
Totally agree, and there's the handoff to the big fullback. Oh my goodness, just barging through here, and looks like there's a player down on the field for the Panthers, but he'll get back up. Georgios Kotsakis, I mean, as much as we talk about Jason Brown here for the Irish, it's very vital that they have their fullbacks cooking. That's Ben Hardy and Georgios Kotsakis. Georgios had a career game against the Lancers of Kennedy Catholic a few weeks back with 142 yards on 6 carries. And looks like he'll be back in the backfield again. And this time it'll be a pitch to Jason Brown. Many Prep defenders there. It looks like they knew what play was coming. And that'll set up 3rd and 5 with almost no gain. It'll be interesting to see what Coach Monty Kohler here, see what he does. It's an important piece of the game right here is to convert this 3rd down. You don't want to give them the ball back. You're trying to have another big drive down the field. And that's one of the things that we've seen from this Irish team is that they've been able to score early and have faltered later in the game. But here they go on 3rd down and 5. Handoff to Jason Brown, following his blockers up the middle, runs into a few guys, and looks like he'll be taken down just short by a number of blue jerseys. Uh-oh. No, he'll get back up as he always does. Looks a little banged up, but he'll be just short of the 1st down with some serious mud on his jersey. Looks like the Irish have no hesitations about going for it here on 4th down, choosing to stay away from punter Evan DiMolanta. And timeout, I believe. Looks like a timeout here. Who's it called by? Timeout by Prep. And both teams will get an opportunity to talk over this big, critical 4th down. Luke, what do you think is going to happen here? What can you predict about this big 4th down?
You see, it's hard to tell right now. I mean, O'Day, it could go any way. Based on where they are within the 10 yards, I could see them going for it. But considering that this game is anyone's game as of right now and it could go either direction, I could see them punting it. But I feel like more than likely they would definitely go for it. I feel like they would be doing a run with Jason Brown to get a few yards. That'd be all what they need. And if they can do that, then they can manage to get another 10 yards put up.
Well, isn't that interesting? Usually aggressive coach Monty Kohler elects to bring out punter Evan DiMolanta here. See how see if he can give it a nice boot. And wow, oh my goodness. Tell me how many times you've seen this, Luke. But that is quarterback Braden Smith back for the Panthers. Let's see what happens here. Snap is good, and he'll give it a boot, but it looks like he missed that. Oh my goodness, and that is right to a Prep Panther who looks like he could take this all the way down the right sideline. He's going, and he's met and put out of bounds by a few Prep defenders, but that is not at all what you wanted out of that play call from Monty Kohler. Oh my goodness. Well, Luke, we saw it a few weeks back against Lake Stevens. We saw it here just now, but this punt team has been having some struggles. What do you think's behind that?
I think that's something that could really affect this are the snaps. It's really hard to tell when you're going to be having a good snap or not, and you really need to make sure that your centers are able to do a perfect snap exactly where they need it to go. And then it could also be someone else. It could be someone missing their block, or it could be the kicker messing up the kick. It could be a lot of different things that could mess up those plays right there.
Totally agree. And that time it looked like Evan DiMolanta, the punter for this Irish team, just missed the ball. And this will set up a critical drive for the Panthers. And that'll be Braden Smith keeping it himself. Cuts outside down the right sideline, and he is in for the touchdown. Seattle Prep cutting it to a 1-point game. And, well, we just saw him back deep returning a punt, and now we see him taking it in himself. This quarterback, I mean, he can do it all for this Irish team. If you didn't know, at one point he was a wide receiver, a slot wide receiver. They really have him do it all, and he'll come back out after that touchdown and hold the kick. I mean, well, it's just an incredible story to watch this, and it's an incredible time to watch this guy play. That was just a nice move to get off the outside edge and take that one in for 6. Kick is up. And it is good. So this game is all tied at 7-7. Prep being able to punch it in, capitalizing off the mistakes of the Irish. That's exactly what you want to do. Luke, I mean, here's the thing. You've been setting a great tone all game. You gonna go for it, but then Prep calls a timeout, so you bring out your punt team and you give the ball away in very short territory. Ergo, it was a mistake, but you still give that ball up in very short territory. So what's up with that? I mean, evidently not what you want out of the play calling, but what do you think happened there?
I think something that could have happened was O'Day was getting too comfortable. They've been in the lead for the majority of this game so far. They've been thinking that they are in first place right now, but as of right now, it's all tied up, and it could definitely have been because they were getting too comfortable with their opponent that they were going up against.
I definitely agree. I think that in the long history of this rivalry, Prep just won for the first time in 40 years last year in a thriller, and I think O'Day has a tendency to say, oh, it's just Prep when you come into these games. I think that they have a tendency to underrate their opponent, and Prep uses that, not only the underrating and the weakness that O'Day can show at points, but also that really they're a better team than many think, and they also don't want to be underrated by their rivals. And it's important for O'Day to make sure that they're playing this just like they would Lake Stevens or any other tough 3A opponent, because that's what Prep is. Luke, what are your thoughts on the matter?
I completely agree with you, Harlan. Seattle Prep in the past few years has been sort of an underdog in some cases, but in the past year, 2 years, they've definitely stepped up their game and have been a lot better at playing football, and their performance has improved significantly.
Totally agree, and I think a portion of that is on the shoulders of star quarterback Braden Smith, who you just saw take one in for the touchdown. In other news, that kick goes out of bounds, so the Irish will start their next drive at the 40-yard line. And I don't know, that's pretty good field position. There are 6 minutes and 45 seconds here on the clock, and ideally you're hoping to get a score before halftime. So how do you think the Irish can do that? How do you think the Irish managed to get away with some points here?
I think something that the Irish has got to do is they got to make sure that their offensive line is ready to block, and they have to get a lot of running plays in, because they are definitely not a passing team. They can get good passes in, don't get me wrong, but whenever they do, it's a risk, sort of.
Well, that was a nice play. A big hole opened up by the offensive line on the right side, and Jason Brown finds it with ease, as he always does, and exploits it for a gain of 8. That will be second down and very short for the Irish. Again, I said it earlier, and that's where they have thrived lately. And they will look to capitalize again and get another first down. Kohler looking to the sideline, but will bend down and take the snap here. And it's a handoff to Kotsakis, who looked like he didn't have a great hold on the ball, but gets it back in his grip and takes it for an Irish first down. Wow, they've been moving the ball pretty well when they're not having these big penalties. I mean, Luke, again, you said that they were going to establish the run, maybe pass a little bit. We haven't seen any of that passing attack yet, which is a little bit surprising to me, but also I think some of that is because when your run game, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Their run game has been working extremely well early, and you don't want to mess that up by trying to integrate some of the pass. But, I mean, if I were Coach Kohler, I wouldn't be totally against integrating some play action into this offense, maybe a little bit of trickery. But nope, again, it'll be a handoff to Jason Brown up the middle, who will take it again through a huge hole on the left side up the A gap for a gain of 7 yards. I mean, Luke, they've just been running the ball straight down the A gaps, and it's worked almost every single time. What do you think Prep has to do on defense to adjust and make sure they're making plays?
Something that Prep definitely has to do is look at what their opponent is doing. O'Day is not passing this ball. They've been running it every time. And their runs have been different at most times, but they got to know like where the open gap is and where the runner will be coming down from.
I agree. I think it's going to be a big part of stopping the run. And there it is, exactly what I was going to say, as Jason Brown will be stopped just short of a first down. Oh, nope. Interesting call there, but they are going to move the chains, and it will be a first down for the Irish. Yep, first down. Interesting call there, but good for the Irish nonetheless. Well, what I was just saying is that their linebackers are their stars of this defense in that 3-4 set. They're going to need to bring them down the gaps, making sure they're hitting their assignments and limiting these big runs that are just straight up the middle, because you can't have that really when you're Prep. You can't have these open gaps because Jason Brown and Georgios Kotsakis will get there every single time and make you pay. That'll be another handoff to Kotsakis, who finds a hole and he keeps going, but he's tripped up. Oh my goodness, and he was very close to being gone down the left sideline, but he is tripped up. Nonetheless, that'll be a huge gain here for the Irish, and that will move the chains yet again. My goodness. Well, Luke, we were talking about his monster performance against Kennedy Catholic the other week and Georgios Kotsakis' big play opportunities. What do you think?
I think that if there's any time that George is going to show how great of an athlete it is, it's going to be this season. He has had some phenomenal games as of right now. And I think that George...
Keep talking. Keep talking. Keep talking. Yeah, totally agree. Georgios Kotsakis has been a force in this offense, and I think really what's special is his ability as a fullback to get big plays, but this will be tossed outside to trace to, I believe, no, that's Khalil Holiday out of the backfield, and he'll make it for just a short gain. But unfortunately, you have these Irish people who will not always be available, and that's part of Jason Brown. They use him so much, but he's not always available to get these critical tries. And off comes Khalil Holiday, and back on comes Jason Brown. Luke, what were you saying about George there?
Sorry, my mic cut out there. But I was saying that Georgios is definitely a powerhouse. If there's any time that he's going to prove himself to the rest of the team, it's going to be this season. He's had some phenomenal plays right now in some really great games. I think that George and Jason are two players that this whole team relies on. They both are someone that this whole team looks up to and that they need to be doing well.
Keep talking.
And it looks like there's a Prep player on the field right now.
And you never like to see that, but it looks like he's okay as number 68 will walk up and off the field. That's Chris Lino for Prep. And, well, you never like to see that. That's unfortunate, but what can you do sometimes? Football is just a violent game. We apologize for any technical difficulties in the past minute or so. We're having some difficulty with our setup here at West Seattle Stadium. Beautiful night for football here as we resume play. That's a handoff to Jason Brown. Another amazing play in the backfield. Oh, my goodness. Austin Hardenow is a playmaker for this Prep defense. Wow. He's been getting to Jason Brown in the backfield over and over again. I don't know how that's happening, and definitely something that the O'Day offense will want to fix here. But just a series of great plays made by number 44, Austin Hardenow.
Yeah, I agree. Prep's defense has been doing pretty well right now. They've been able to stop O'Day at the necessary times. They have given up a few yards, but this game is not about focusing on what you've done, and it's focusing on what you can do, and Seattle Prep's defense is definitely doing that, and they're preventing O'Day from gaining yards right now.
That's exactly right, and that will be another nice piece of defense there by Prep as it will set up second down and, well, that's pretty long. I'd say second down and long. Looks like there will be a stoppage of play. Can't tell exactly what. Maybe the 2-minute warning? Nope, timeout for the Irish. Sorry. Well, now that we're in timeout, we can talk about this drive that the Irish are having. Luke, it looks a lot similar to me as to the early scoring drive. I mean, both were essentially drives with one or none pass plays that were just dinking and dunking down the field slowly but surely, eroding this Prep defense. What do you think about these two drives? How similar have they looked, and what can Prep do differently to make sure that they're stopping the Jason Brown run?
I think that with O'Day marching down the field on both of these drives and potentially on the second drive scoring a touchdown if they play their cards correctly, I think that Prep needs to take a look at what O'Day's been doing and figure out plays on how to prevent this from happening. And another thing too that Prep needs to be doing is they have to be making sure that their blocks are working 110%. And I know that they're going up against some big dudes, but if Prep can manage to stop them for a few plays, it can really help them out throughout the duration of this game.
Oh, yeah, I totally agree. And here will be one of those big moments in the red zone, third and long, not quite third and goal. And what you're going to want here is just, you don't need to necessarily stop them all the way. You just don't want a big play. And that's exactly what they'll go for as he rolls out. Oh, my goodness, intercepted. What a poor decision by the quarterback, Kohler, and that will be intercepted by Seattle Prep. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. What a poor decision. That will be intercepted in the backfield, and it will start to go the direction that the O'Day offense was trying to prevent there. When you're in the red zone like that, turnovers are unacceptable. But that's exactly what happens there, and a fantastic play. And that was number 48 on the interception, Miles Schmidt. My goodness. Oh, my Lord.
Something that O'Day needs to work on extremely well is their passing. They take a lot of risks while passing it, and a lot of the times when they do, they end up intercepting the ball. And when they do that, it's definitely not good for them.
Yeah, well, that was just an ill decision, but even worse than that, the play seemed over before it even started for the Irish. And this will be Braden Smith keeping it himself, using those fast feet, advancing, and getting a big pickup. My goodness, Braden Smith has been doing it all himself here for this Prep offense as he'll move it for a gain of 8 or so. And one thing that we've seen consistently, but especially now as the clock ticks down to 1 minute and 30 seconds, is a no-huddle offense from Seattle Prep as they'll throw a quick screen to number 88, who is hit by number 38 for the Irish. That'll be Brendan Murphy on the tackle, assisted by number 11, I believe, Dane Camacho. But yeah, Prep going no huddle. They're making sure to use all the time available to them, but they're trying not to leave any time on the clock for this O'Day offense as they drive down the field here. And that's not what you want. This clock is still running as they're trying to figure it out in the shotgun. One in the backfield as he finally takes the snap. No handoff. He's going to take it himself up the middle. And that will not quite be good enough for a first down, but that'll be a big gain, big little gain of 5 And that'll build some momentum, but you've got to watch the clock. You've got to be careful. Just 45 seconds ticking away. Tick, tick, tick here for the Prep offense. Both student sections making some noise, both into it. This is a close game here with some fierce rivalries, both on the field and off of it, as he takes the snap, drops back to pass, looks, throws, and that's off the mark. That's off the mark. Some great pass defense there from star sophomore again, Kai McDonald. Incredible. He has been all over the field, as we've said. His name just keeps popping up, but that throw was off the mark. That throw was definitely not where he wanted it to be. A little bit in front, I would say, of Drew Velling. And sorry if you're getting a little confused, but we want to be clear. Number 88 is Jack Velling, and number 7 is Drew Velling here for the Prep offense. They are twin brothers. As the snap, and takes it himself, but that's an excellent read off the snap by, I believe, Max. I can't quite tell who that was, but another incredible play as the clock is ticking down. But they'll put a stop to that as there's a timeout called. Timeout on the field by the Irish. I can't fathom why they would do that, but there it is. So you can see all the big boys getting some water, getting ready to hold off this final push by Prep.
Yeah, O'Day definitely needs to stop Prep right now because 12 seconds is still a lot of time right now. Prep could be doing something big, and they could potentially score off of this last few plays of the half. And O'Day has just got to make sure that they do not let that happen to them.
Yeah, I think what we'll see here is O'Day in a big prevent defense, trying not to let Braden Smith hurt them with his arms or, for that matter, his legs. Both are a big threat, as we've seen early in this game, and they'll have to prevent both if they want to stop a late miracle here from Prep. And out they come, both offenses, both the Prep offense and the Irish defense, looking for a little bit of help here to keep the defense looking to keep this game in a stalemate, but the offense working for a late miracle. But on fourth down, instead, they will just punt. And looks like it will drop to the ground and take another little Prep bounce, and that will leave 2 seconds on the clock. Looks like the Prep players have a little dispute here with the referees. Not sure what over. That was pretty straightforward, but looks like they're arguing. And nope, still Irish ball. Not sure exactly what they were trying to accomplish. You know, Luke, never seen a player change a ref's mind, so.
Yeah, you do never see that.
Not sure exactly what they were trying there. Well, Luke, what's your guess? What do you think we'll see here? 2 seconds on the clock. Looks like the Irish offense wants to come back out and run at least one more play.
I don't know if we'll see anything extreme, but I'm not saying that nothing's going to happen. O'Day could have a very good run play right here and score at the end of the half, but I feel like more likely it'll just be a simple run play.
Totally agree. And with 2 seconds left here, they'll come out. And, you know, I wouldn't be surprised to see just a simple draw, maybe a little toss, see if he can get outside and let Jason Brown work his magic here. And 2 seconds left on the clock. Kohler down, line down, takes the snap, and looks like he'll fake the draw, and then he'll hand it off to Jason Brown, who will look to pad his stats a little bit, but is definitely brought down by number 44, Austin Hardenow. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will send us to halftime here, locked at 7-7, a very tight game between these two powerhouses. And we will talk to you in just about 15 minutes here on YouTube Live. Make sure you stay tuned in, as we've got an absolute gem of a second half about to come to you live here from West Seattle Stadium. Welcome back to an intense 3A Metro League rivalry. Tied 7-7 here at the start of the second half. Definitely excited to see what's going to happen here in a deadlock of a match. It's going to be a heater, it's going to be a big one, and we're excited to see who's going to be able to come on top in a battle of powerhouses. It's been a really tight game, each team with one good drive, but I would say that O'Day has probably had the advantage just because Prep's lone drive started with one big mistake. Luke Hardy can tell us more about it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like if it wasn't a tie game right now, I feel like O'Day would be in the lead because they've had a good amount of plays that have worked, but they've had a few that just haven't gone the direction that they had hoped. They've had a few interceptions, but right now it's 7-7. We're going into the third quarter, and this is still anybody's game right now, and this could go either way.
Yeah, that's definitely true, 100%, and it'll be a doozy of a second half as the teams start to come out and get ready. It's going to be tightly contested, it's going to be physical, it's going to be a hard one, but I don't know. Both of these teams definitely have the potential and the ability to come out on top. I think probably the deciding factor is going to be whether or not which team wants it more, because there's not a whole lot separating these two teams talent-wise, I would say. But I think that definitely there's going to be one team that's going to want it a lot more than the other, and that's going to define who comes out on top in this tight game.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, Harlan. Each team has their own players that stand out and represent their team right now. They both have been doing phenomenal this second half, in the first half. And both teams want this win badly, but whoever wins this, it simply comes down to who wants it more, who's willing to put more work in and go until there's triple zeros remaining on the clock.
Oh, what a great point. It's going to be whichever team can manage to be more physical, put the work in, and just want it badly. As there's going to be a little bit of a changing the guard here back deep for the Irish with Jason Brown and Khalil Holiday, two of their best playmakers. And kicking off for Seattle Prep, and we'll see what they do here. It'll be a bit different kicking to freshmen like Isaiah Nolan than it will be kicking to Jason Brown, the number 24 recruit of the 2024 class. As he'll raise his hand, and we get underway here at West Seattle Stadium, and it looks like he will barely even try it. And that will go out of bounds. Right. Sorry, there may have been a flag even before it went out of bounds, and we'll see what happens here. Looks like there was a penalty prior to the kickoff, maybe offsides on Seattle Prep, so that will move the ball. That will move the ball back on the initial kickoff, back 5 yards to the 30. And that will cost Seattle Prep. Sorry, to the 35 from the 40. That will cost Seattle Prep, and it'll give the ability for the Irish to have some excellent field position here to start the second half. And Luke, you can tell me, and I could tell you, but we both know that this Irish offense is going to need some points here to start out this second half.
Yeah, they definitely will, Harlan. They claimed their territory in the first half by gaining points early on, and it showed Prep that they weren't messing around. And if they can do that again and get another touchdown right off the bat in this second half, it'll definitely help them out.
Totally agree, as that's a great return there by senior Zach Newsom, and that will bring them out to have excellent field position to start this one out. That'll be at just about the 40-yard line. And here we go from West Seattle Stadium with a beautiful view of T-Mobile Park and the rest of downtown Seattle, as we're going to start off with a handoff to Georgios Kostakis, who finds a gap and is brought down, but not before he can get a gain of 8 and set up a very favorable second down for this Irish offense. There's Jaden Archer on the tackle for the Panthers. And one thing that's been happening early in this game from the Irish, and all throughout the first half, but almost not at all from Seattle Prep, is huddling on offense. Seattle Prep has kept the tempo high, pace fast, trying to keep O'Day on their heels, while O'Day has more relied on a huddle, as that's the pitch to Jason Brown, who follows his blockers but can't get much, However, it'll still be enough for a first down for the Irish, and that will move the chains. Here we go here on first down for the Irish. 2 backs, 2 out left as Kohler takes the snap and will hand up the middle to Jason Brown, who has some excellent blocking, and he will go. He is going all the way down the right hash and in for the touchdown. Oh boy, what a score and what excellent blocking. Jason Brown didn't even have to break a tackle. He was all the way gone, and that's good for 6, and the Irish take a 13-7 lead. Wow, that's just incredible blocking. I'm sure you could see that Jason Brown barely even faced any resistance at all as he ran that one in. What impressive blocking from new starting center Dylan Cohen, just making some huge holes and allowing the speed and agility of Jason Brown to capitalize on it. And out comes Severio DeSimone with John Kohler holding the kick. Snap, hold down, and the kick is up and through and good. An incredible big run there of about 40 yards from Jason Brown off the dive. And that is a big, big way to start the second half for the Irish.
This is definitely something that's kind of been almost like a pattern in this game, how they've been scoring really close to the start of the half. And if O'Day just keeps this up, they'll definitely be able to have a good lead in this game and be able to come out on top on this. But they can't do what they did last half, and they can't afford to lose possessions of the ball every time they have it afterwards. If they want to win this, they got to keep up what they've just been doing right now and get that ball from their side of the field all the way to the end zone on the other side.
100%. Now this prep offense has struggled to put together a complete drive. Given they've put up these 7 points early, and that's been huge for them. But on the other side of things, it's important to consider that drive started on the 13 after a muffed punt from Evan DiMolanta. So it's going to be critical to see here if they can respond with a long drive or maybe even with some special teams magic here in order to get some points on the board. And I mean, even if it's 3, Luke, and just again, I'm Harlan Grady, and this is Luke Hardy live from West Seattle Stadium. Just again, Luke, some suspect offense from the Irish at the end in the second quarter when they didn't muster a single point. But now they've come out strong, and they've started this second half well, and they've gotten some points up. Now it will be time to see if the Panthers can respond. I think even 3 would give them a major boost and allow them to have some momentum going into playing defense once again.
Yeah, I agree with you, Harlan. Coach Kohler definitely told them some stuff in the locker room, and whatever he told them, it's definitely going to work, and hopefully it keeps up for the rest of the half.
It looks like an onside kick attempt there from the Irish, but flags fly before the play is over, and it will back them up 5 yards. And again, a reminder that last O'Day Irish drive did actually start with the exact same penalty on the Panthers, so we'll see if that can give them any aid on their journey to scoring some points here early. Kickoff will back up 5 yards, and we'll see what happens here with Severio DeSimone back out there. Well, so far this game, what has been a pretty evenly matched game has been decided really through turnovers and penalties. What we've seen early is that the Irish have been able to get 1 interception, which didn't do them all that much good, but also have had some key penalties and special team mistakes that have really shot themselves in the foot and allowed the Panthers to get a great start as Eli Black comes out on the kickoff, and he is brought down in a big way by the fullback Kotsakis on kickoff return. And out come the Irish defense. What can you tell me about them, Luke?
Well, something that both teams have been doing really well in the first half of this game was defense. They were able to stop almost every drive throughout the first half, but unfortunately on offense, though, for both sides, it hasn't been too well. And if one team can step up their offense during this remaining half and this quarter right now, it'll definitely help them out in the time of the game left to come. If they step up their offense and keep the momentum that their defense had in the first half, they'll definitely be doing really great at the end of this game.
Totally agree, as it's Braden Smith on the, oh my goodness, on the throw, but that is broken up. An amazing play by Zach Newsom to keep that one out of the hands of Prep. And that will make it 2nd down and long. Well, Seattle Prep loves to run this spread offense. That's their main game plan, but they've struggled so far to move the ball through the air, as they're going to put 4 wide here with 3 on the left side. And Braden Smith's going to just hit a quick little route, but he'll be brought down immediately by Dane Camacho. Excellent play there to tackle him before he could get started running. And on the catch, you had Reed Johnson, the 6'4", 215 tight end. And one thing about this Prep offense, they love to run through their tight ends. They've had some success just hitting them on short routes, getting a little bit of yardage through the air, and then getting some yards on the ground to follow. That's how they've been moving the ball, and it'll be critical to see if they can keep up that pattern here with this drive. And the snap, Braden Smith to throw, and it's complete, and he'll get some yards after the catch, but then he will be brought down hard by Khalil Holiday. But, I mean, again, there's that little short pass that turns into a little bit more, and I think one of the keys I had before this game for the Panthers was to make sure that your playmakers are getting the ball in space. Even if they're not going for 20 or 30 yards like Jason Brown, you got to give it to them. You got to get it in their hands and make sure that they're making plays. As the snap is to Braden Smith, who will hand it up, and Eli Black will run right through the A-gap for a great gain of 7 yards on 1st down. And that is how the Prep offense likes to do it. They are moving.
Yeah, I agree with you right there, Harlan. Prep has had some good plays on offense, but going up against O'Day's defense is the main challenge right here. They're definitely getting the ball to where it has to go, but what they have to work on now is powering through it.
They fake the dive, pitch it on the outside, and he's hit and dropped. An incredible play to sniff that out. Oh my goodness. I can't quite tell you who that was. Looks like that would be number 15, Tyler Bugby. Pardon any roster errors. But yeah, this has looked like really the best, most complete drive from the Panthers so far. They've been moving it efficiently, but now it's a big 3rd down. Big 3rd down and 6. They're gonna look to get this 1st down, and I'd bet you $10 that if they don't get it, they're going to go for it here on 4th down. Try to get some points up. There's the snap, drops back, 3-step drop, looks to pass, has all the time in the world, and he's going to try to run it, and he'll take it himself. Oh my goodness, and he breaks a few tackles. He's still loose, and eventually he is brought down, but not before he can grab the 1st down. What a play to take it himself by the star quarterback for the Panthers. You can definitely tell he likes to take it himself. He has the confidence. He has the legs. He knows he can run it. And we've seen that a lot from him, Luke.
Yeah, I agree. And if you put Braden in the right situation, then he's definitely a threat to what O'Day's going to be going up against. You got to make sure that you have him covered.
Totally. And that was part of the game plan I would expect from Coach Monty Kohler. He's been in this business just as long as anyone. And that is a deep ball, but it looks like there may be pass interference on that. Not exactly sure what the ref was thinking, but if there is pass interference, it would be on number 27, Trey Stokes, covering number 5 for the Panthers. That would be Will Floyd all the way downfield. Well, that was an exciting play call there for the Panthers. And it didn't quite work out, but it's good to see them try to get those big gains. You want to try those chunk plays every once in a while. Looks like the ball will be moving up in favor of the Panthers. Can't quite tell you what the penalty was, but that is definitely a penalty on the Irish in coverage for number 27, Trey Stokes, who's one of the senior captains. And let's see if Prep wants to try another deep ball. They're going to have 3 players in the backfield here, not counting the quarterback, and they'll hand it off, who will just take it up the B gap, I believe, but hit hard in the gap by Mark Naboo. That was a nice play to sniff that run out by the big boy Naboo, and he has been nothing but stellar and an anchor for this line early in the season. And there it is, that spread offense. You have 5 wide for the Panthers on 2nd down and 9. I'd expect a throw here, but also a designed run, and it will be thrown over the middle, and it's almost intercepted by Dane Camacho, who can't quite come up with it. The pass incomplete nonetheless. Wow, that was almost a very key mistake from number 3, Braden Smith, who has looked excellent so far running the ball. But Luke, you may agree with me here. He has not looked super sharp when asked to pass.
I do agree with you there. I feel like O'Day in general has been doing fairly well, but their passing game, however, is the one thing that's been a big block in their in this game today. They haven't been able to have a lot of successful passing plays, but everything else has been doing pretty well.
Totally agree, and it looks like they will go. What is that formation on the left side? You have 4 wide receivers all in a bunch. It's not even trips. And it looks like Braden Smith will try to take it himself. Afua slips and falls, can't quite make the play, throws it up, and it will, just out of bounds. Almost made the play was Tyler Bugby there looking for his tight end, Jack Velling. Can't quite make the play. Well, that was excellent. That's exactly what you want to see from the Irish. They've had trouble keeping Braden Smith in the pocket so far this game, and I would expect that their coaches are going to adjust and adapt halfway through. They're going to make quarterback spies. They're going to keep edge protects. They're going to make sure that they're making Braden Smith use his arm, which has not been super reliable so far tonight. Looks like they're going to send 5 wide receivers out again. And I would not be surprised at all to see a pass here. It's 4th down. You've got to make a play. No room for error. Drops back. 3-step drop. Looks to pass. Hits his tight end, and it is incomplete, but it looks like they're going to call a penalty on coverage. Looks to be sophomore Kyle McDonald with the penalty to him. I can't quite tell, but I would expect pass interference on the defense, and that is a key mistake. Once again, the Irish, time and time this game, have not been able to keep themselves from committing these errors. They've really shot themselves in the foot time and time again. Keeping themselves, pass interference on the defense. That will move the chains, automatic 1st down. And what was going to be a big 4th down stop from the Irish turns into 1st and goal for the Seattle Prep Panthers. And we'll see if they can capitalize here. I believe they are 1 for 1 on red zone attempts, unlike the Irish, who had 1 interception down inside the 10-yard line. And we'll try to keep that record perfect here. They have 3 in the backfield, and quarterback takes the ball, keeps it himself, can't quite make the tackle, but then he is brought down by the 2 big boys, Isendre Afua and Mark Naboo. And that was a nice play combined by the 2 of them, and I assume they'll both get half a tackle. Well, Luke, what do you think about these 2 big guys inside for O'Day, Naboo and Afua?
I think that as long as they go to exactly where they're supposed to be going and that they get their blocks done, they could be a huge threat to the team that they're going up against. If Mark Naboo and Afua both do what they're supposed to be doing, then it'll definitely put a huge blockade in for Prep right here while they're trying to score.
Yeah, totally. I think it's huge to make sure that you're limiting Prep to 3 or none points, as that'll be another short pass over the middle, complete. And that seems to be the new MO of this Prep offense, as their long pass game has been stifled. They've moved to these more short dip and dunk passes across the middle for 4 or 5 yards. They're looking to hit their big tight ends, especially in Velling and also in people like Wyatt Mitchke on the outside, but not as much. They're using their tight ends in close, allowing them to get little gains, and the Irish are going to have to find a way to adapt and take away the little dink and dunk passes in the middle if they're going to try and stop this drive. And that'll be keep it himself, a great fake, and the big men outside will try to make a play, and they do, but it'll be the cornerbacks, the defensive backs sniffing it out and making a play on the edge. It looked like the exact same play they ran for the touchdown last time, but this time, no such luck. It is sniffed out by the O'Day defensive backs, and they make a play before anyone can score. And that is a huge stop for the Irish, as now it is 4th down. 4th down, and it looks like the Prep will send their kicking team out. Then that will be on the kick, number 10, Caden Lawlor. And the snap is good, hold is good. And that is up and through, and they have cut this game to a 4-point matchup. Wow, that was a big defensive stand for the Irish. Luke, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think what we just saw was a replica of the original play that they scored on back in the second quarter.
Yeah, it definitely was, or at least it was very similar to it. And even though Prep didn't get the touchdown that they were hoping for right now, a field goal could definitely help them. As long as their defense plays well and prevents O'Day from scoring and their offense can come down and get another touchdown, that will put them in the lead. But they definitely did want that touchdown right now. That definitely would have helped them out.
Yeah, but I think it's critical when you get scored on to just come back and get any sort of offense you can. I think it's hard for your defense to get scored on and then come back and just have no help at all. That is a big field goal. And for what it's worth in points, I bet it's worth double in momentum for this Prep defense having just a little bit of support.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you there. Both teams need to step up their games in order if they want to be winning this game. O'Day will most likely be getting the ball as long as they don't mess up this play right here. But they definitely need to be on
point, maybe?
Thank you. I forgot what I was going to be saying there. Thank you.
Oh,
but anyways,
yes.
O'Day needs to march down and get another touchdown in order to put them in a significant lead than what they've had throughout the game previously.
I agree. I mean, right now you have the ability to make this a 2-score game, and with just 5 minutes left on the clock here in the third quarter, that's not a ton of time, as that will be kicked short. And there will be a return for the Irish, and he'll look to cut it outside as he makes a great play on the ball and looks to bring it down around the 33. That is an excellent play on the ball in the air by Zach Newsom, who brings it out for a decent return. And what I was saying prior to the kickoff is that the Irish have the ability to make this a 2-score game for the first time all game. And putting that distance, giving your defense a little breathing room, that'll be a big jolt for the Irish if they can manage to score here. And I would expect this drive to see the play action passing integrated into the offense. But we'll have to see here, see what the play calling brings, because if it's not broke, don't fix it. Kotsakis runs up the A-gap for 5. Some nice turnout here at the game, as you have both Prep and O'Day student sections getting very loud and very rowdy here. Definitely brings the type of energy to this rivalry that it didn't have last year because, as you know, no fans. Let that be known that that was actually the first time in 40 years that Prep was able to come away with a victory over the Fighting Irish, as this will be another handoff to Jason Brown, who finds a gap through the middle and will eventually be brought down, but not after a gain. But not before he can gain 10 yards and another first down. Incredible. He has been a machine. And another one of my keys to the game for the Irish this time was getting Jason Brown and Georgios established. One of the big parts last year in their original loss whoa, my goodness. One of the keys to the game today will be getting Jason Brown established, because when they lost last year, Jason Brown had almost no carries, as that's Kotsakis up the middle for 5 yards. They had almost no carries. He had almost no yards on very few carries, and they were afraid to get him established. But then in the rematch in the Metro League title game, Jason Brown ran wild on the Panthers with almost 250 yards and 3 touchdowns. So I think that Prep, well, obviously hadn't game planned for him before that. I think that he's shown flashes of that 250-yard game early in this one, and we'll have to show it again late to be able to seal this victory for the Irish. And that will be Brown again as he breaks a few tackles, keeps his legs moving, and it looks like he may have had his helmet come off. Not quite. But definitely gets brought down by a flurry of blue jerseys, and that's usually what it takes in order to bring down the elusive JB. But before he can ever get brought down, he gets a gain of about 4 or 5. Never mind. He gets a gain of 3, and that will be good for 3rd down and just about 1. Well, this will be a key moment in the Irish drive, because as we saw last time on 4th down, you can't always trust your punt team, so you want to try and get it done before Kohler is forced to make that decision, as John Kohler takes it himself up the middle on the quarterback sneak, and that will be enough yards to push the Irish over the chains and make the play. Move the chains, and that'll be a first down for the Irish. But oh no, there's a man down on the field. Part of your offensive line, you never like to see that. So we'll cut away just quickly. Be right back here on YouTube Live. I'm Harlan Grady.
And I'm Luke Hardy.
That is so unfortunate, but a nice showing of the O'Day Brotherhood as he's helped off the field by two of his best friends, I'm sure, and members of the line. Oof. Never like to see that. But even another point is that will force him out of the game, and this offensive line will have yet another injury, which is just terrible for this Irish offense that really likes to move the ball on the ground and is having some problems now due to two of their starting 5 offensive linemen being out of this game. And if you missed it earlier, that's because starting all-Metro center Oliver Brach is out with a lower leg injury, as Coach Sakis will take it up the middle, find a little hole, and run into a pile of blue and white for about 5 yards. And looks like somebody on Seattle Prep did come up with that ball, but I believe marked down before the ball was taken out, and it will be still O'Day ball. And it will remain the ball for the Irish as Kohler will trot back out to the huddle, call the play. And we will really start to get back underway here after that injury to number 54. Isendre Alfua was the player down on the field for the Irish. Well, here we go as Kohler's pitch to Jason Brown, and he is was loose for a few seconds, but runs into a hard brick wall of Prep defenders and is brought down just short of the first down. Nope, never mind. The spots tonight have been very friendly for the Irish, and that will move the chains. Will be a first down for the Fighting Irish.
With the chains moving down, this means that the Irish gets closer, and if they can get a touchdown right here, that'll definitely push their chances of winning up a lot. They definitely need a touchdown to just secure a little bit more room and be able to stop Prep, but if anything were to go bad on their next drive, they'd be able to still have the lead and maintain this momentum for the rest of the game.
Yeah, well, I think the key here is if they do end up getting into the red zone, is that will be a read option pitch to Jason Brown. He will gain about 5 before getting hit pretty loudly there. And I think one of the keys to making sure this drive doesn't go awry is making sure this game doesn't go awry is to make sure you're not committing any more turnovers in the red zone. One of the key moments for this game for Seattle Prep was when they were able to force an interception down in the red zone around the 10-yard line, make John Kohler throw a bad pass, hustle him, make sure he's making bad decisions, and then pick them off. And that ended up being costly as the Irish came away with no points from that drive. They'll look to not repeat the same mistakes as Kotsakis is loose up the left option. He's in for the touchdown! 6 for the Irish, Georgios Kotsakis. And there's a flag down after the play. But Georgios Kotsakis for the moment is in for 6 for the Irish. And that is a touchdown for somebody not named Jason Brown, and that is impressive. That's what you love to see from your fullback there. But again, flag down seemed to be after the play. We'll check that. We'll get right back to you. For the moment, score will be 20-10 O'Day. Man, looks like these refs are having a tough time figuring this one out. Touchdown. It is indeed a touchdown for Georgios Kotsakis, and that will put 6 on the board for the Fighting Irish. Incredible run, breaking tackles, bouncing off defenders, and that will make this a little bit of a wider gap, a little bit more comfortable for the Fighting Irish defense. And that is a huge run there from Georgios Kotsakis. I mean, we've already talked about his value. What can you add on him, Luke?
I think George is one of the more valuable players on this team who does a lot to contribute to O'Day. He works timeless after school. He works a bunch of hours just to be able to do this, and he's definitely a star player on this team right now.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, as much as we love to talk about the star player, Jason Brown, Kotsakis does just as much. That kick was almost blocked, but the snap, hold, and kick are up and good. And that will make it 21-10 with 26 seconds left in the third quarter. Yeah, I'm Harlan Grady.
And I'm Luke Hardy.
And we'll be right back here at West Seattle Stadium. And welcome back to West Seattle Stadium, where O'Day has just widened their lead over the Seattle Prep Panthers, and we will look to get back underway here with the Irish kicking it off. Back deep for the Seattle Prep Panthers, it will be, looks like number 2, Eli Black, and number 15, Reed Johnson. Scratch that. Number 3, Braden Smith, their quarterback, back deep on kickoff with 3 Panthers getting ready to take this kick. Luke, do you think we could see some sort of trickery here on the kickoff return?
I could see that considering the weird formation that they have. They've been doing this a few times throughout this game where they've had a lot of people in the same area at the start of a play, and then they eventually spread out into different parts of the field. But I could see this being regular, but I could see this being a little bit different considering how it's all set up.
Oh, and there they go. One retreating short, and he'll take the squib on a hop, get over the 50-yard line, but he runs into Georgios Kotsakis, who just scored a touchdown, and now makes the tackle on kickoff return. It looks to be a little bit of a scrap on the field, but the two teams will come off. And the Seattle Prep offense looking to come out and score. They have been in a rough position so far this game. Their only touchdown drive started on the O'Day 13 after a muffed punt. Last drive they looked solid but stalled out in the red zone. Ended up getting 3 on a field goal. But that's still not what you'd love to see from a team in the red zone. You want to see that 100% touchdown productivity. You're not always going to get it, but that's what you'd like to see. And now they're going to come back with some more great field position after a short kick and see if they can get some points on the board here. Braden Smith drops back to pass, but now steps up and he'll take it himself to run. Missed tackle, gets out of bounds for a gain of about 4. And we've seen that a lot from him this game, Luke.
Yeah, and also with O'Day in the lead right now, 21-10, this should definitely be motivating Seattle Prep to try and make a comeback right here. While Seattle Prep wants a chance at winning this game, they have to step it up out there. They've had good runs, but O'Day is doing exactly what they've wanted to be doing right now.
Totally agree, but there's the passing offense Prep has been looking for as they hit Nick Matthews over the middle, their little speedy wide receiver, and that will be good for a first down. You know, Prep has been dinking and dunking to their tight ends, just moving the ball chunk by chunk, little by little, starting bigger drives, but there they go. That's the productivity they want out of the passing offense, as it looks like there will be a timeout called. Scratch that. That will be the end of the third quarter at West Seattle Stadium. And we will go to the fourth quarter with O'Day holding a commanding 11-point lead. Not out of reach, but that's commanding. And we will be right back here to start the fourth quarter at West Seattle Stadium. I'm Harlan Grady.
And I'm Luke Hardy.
Welcome back live on YouTube.com to the stream of O'Day versus Seattle Prep here as the Irish defense looks to make a big stop here to start the fourth quarter. It could be a big momentum shifter here as that handoff will go to Eli Black, who will take it down the C-gaps for about 3 or 4 yards. An impressive run there considering the size, speed advantage of the O'Day ends. And now in at the game and on edge, I believe that is sophomore Zach Proctor, and he will be looking to make a splash on this game since this is his first time being subbed in. Outside on the edge, 4 out wide for Seattle Prep, takes the snap, 2-step drop, just hits one of his wide tight ends over the middle, and he is instantly brought down, but is able to get a first down before he does so. A nice play call there from head coach Aaron Mall, and that will be good enough for a first down. Getting dangerously close here, I believe. Yep. And now the Panthers will be back in the red zone. They'll be looking to capitalize. Hopefully this drive, they'll be getting 7 and not 3. That's their goal. But this stout O'Day defense will be just as tough of a challenge as they were 20 minutes ago. And that is a Wildcat snap, a bad one at that, but he'll take it directly off the tackles and immediately stopped. What a play to sniff that out by the O'Day defense. That's, I believe, 56. That would make it Anthony Hall with the huge play off the edge to make sure that that Wildcat snap couldn't go anywhere for the Panthers. Here we go, another quarterback, but then it's a sweep to the quarterback, Braden Smith, who takes it on the edge and then throws a pass, but it's a little bit behind. That could have been major, and there's a flag down after the play. That could have been a major advantage for the Seattle Prep Panthers, who can't quite get a hold of it. That was some excellent trickery. If you didn't see, Braden Smith, the starting quarterback, started out on the left side and then motioned across, sort of Philly special style, motioned across the field, received the pitch from the running back, and then tried to make the pass to number 30, Owen Lovejoy, but it was slightly behind him.
As right now, Seattle Prep closes in to the end zone. They need this right now. If they get it, it's not over. They still have time left, but if they miss this opportunity to score any points, it will be a lot more difficult for them. If they want better odds at winning this game, they have to score right here, because otherwise it'll be a lot more difficult.
Well, I agree. Scoring usually does get you better odds to win the game, and they'll try their best to make sure that they're within one score heading to the last 10 minutes right here. There's 5 wide. He'll look, trips left to Jack Velling, who will drop a bad pass on 3rd down. That will make it 3rd down and long. We'll see if the Panthers take their points or if they will not be satisfied with that and instead trying to get a long 4th down conversion. It looks like the kicking team will be out onto the field here, and the Seattle Prep Panthers will try to bring this game within a tight one score, because it will become 13-21, an 8-point game, which means they will need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion and a defensive stop to be able to come back and tie this one up, and that cannot be overstated, the difficulty of that against a tough O'Day team. And that kick is up. And I believe it was good, and it is, and that kick will close the gap to 13-21. And an excellent kick there from the junior, Caden Wallor. And that will cut it to a 1-score game with just 10 minutes left on the clock. See, what do you think, Luke? Do the Prep Panthers have it in them? They haven't exactly looked like they've wanted it more than the Irish in the second half.
I agree with you there, but Prep can either look at this 2 ways. You see, because Prep right now, they haven't really been, I guess, on their A game. They've had good stuff happen to them, but they've choked necessary things that needed to be in play. And if Prep wants this, they have to be playing better than how they've been playing this entire game. This is what people come to watch Seattle Prep for. They want them to make this comeback, and in order to do, they're going to have to not make no more errors. They have absolutely no room for that. They cannot afford to make another mistake. But if they can manage to get this game tied back up, it'll definitely be a good comeback for them.
For sure. They're going to need to tighten up on the mental mistakes, all those errors that they've been making. They're going to need to tighten up, make a good play here, get a good defensive stop, and then trust their offenses. That's a little onside kick, which has been flagged down, I believe, the 3rd time we've seen this game. That is unprecedented, but it will be the 3rd time indeed that we've seen offsides on the kickoff. It will push back the kickoff 5 yards and almost guarantee the Irish excellent starting field position. Well, Luke, tell me a little bit about what you think Coach Kohler is thinking, because in the first few games we've seen Isaiah Nolan and Christian Wynn back on kickoff, but now it seems they've switched the personnel there to Jason Brown and Khalil Holiday.
So yeah, I think probably what Coach Kohler has been telling everybody on this team is to keep up the momentum. Don't let anything come in between you from stopping what you've been doing right now. They've been doing good in the second half. They've been keeping everything up. They have definitely improved from the first half, and Coach Kohler just does not want them to do anything worse than what they've been doing. They've been doing really well, and if they can keep it up, it'll really be well for them.
Totally agree. They have nowhere to look but forward as they command a 8-point lead here with time ticking away in the fourth quarter. Seattle Prep running out of time. So that'll be number 7 for the Irish, finding a gap, taking it up the middle, and eventually tripped up, but not before an excellent return to about the 45. And that will set the Irish up for success here on this drive.
Yeah, that's exactly what the Irish have been doing. It's what they need to be doing. But unfortunately for Seattle Prep, they have to pull something out that they have not been doing at all this game. They need to step up their game. They need to stop O'Day right here. They cannot afford O'Day to get any closer to the end zone than they are right now.
100% with you there, Luke. I think that this drive, the key for Prep will be switching out of their favorite 3-4 set that they love to run with 4 linebackers and changing to where they have more D linemen on the line, which seems to be like what they're doing here. And it seems they're also blitzing a few members of their secondaries. Brown takes the carry up the middle, but cuts back a few times, finds the lane, and he's gone. He's up the middle, and nobody's going to catch him now. He's all the way gone, and he'll take it in for 6 for the Irish. My goodness, Jason Brown, nobody can ever catch him. And oh no, oh boy, and it looks like there's going to be a flag down once again. Oh no, what could have been a huge play for the Irish looks like it may be called back, as there's going to be a holding penalty on the Irish. Oh no, and that's not what you want to see there, because of course you need to have these big plays count. And so far they've had 2 really big plays with Jason Brown finding big gaps. And but they've both been called back due to holding penalties. And I'm sure Coach Kohler has talked about it with his line over on the side, made sure that they know what they're doing wrong, what they're doing right, and what they need to improve on. Because again, as the winningest active football coach in Washington State at the moment, you don't get to hold a position for 37 years and not know what you're doing. He knows what to fix with these players. He knows what's up. He knows what you need to do. And he's definitely going to tell them what they need to do here on this drive to make sure that they're eliminating those mental mistakes.
Yeah, if O'Day can get a touchdown here, it's pretty much going to be the game unless Prep has an absolute miracle come upon them.
Yep.
But right now, Coach Kohler has been telling O'Day to do something, and whatever he's been telling them to do, it's been working.
I agree. There's the pitch to Brown, who finds yet another big lane behind his blockers and is hit by 2 and did not really go down, but then is finally dragged down. Looks like it will remain second down. Another suspect spot by these referees. Nope, never mind, and they have changed it. A first down for the Irish, and they will move the chains. That is a big carry there from Brown.
That's definitely something that Prep did not want to have happen. They definitely wanted to hold them there and have them be able to turn it over to them. But Prep definitely has to do everything that they can to get the ball back.
Yeah, well, even if you can't get the ball back, you just need to have that bend not break mentality. A field goal here, as there's Brown up the middle for another big gain of about 8. But, oh no, and there's been a penalty after the play. It's Mark Naboo with a little bit of comedy there, and that will be a penalty. We'll wait on the call. Looks like Jason Brown coming out of the game. Khalil Holiday checking in for the Irish. The O'Day student section begins chants of "you can't do that," which I imagine implies the penalty is on Seattle Prep. But we will have to wait and see what the call is here. And the ref says, believe that was holding. Again, he's facing away from us, so it's a little tough to tell, but I'm pretty sure that was holding on the defense, and that will move the chains more than they already were moved by Jason Brown. And now the Irish are in the red zone, or maybe, excuse me, they are on the 21-yard line, making them just short of the red zone, where they have been efficient but not perfect, and they will need to come away with points on this drive if they really want to put the game away. I mean, as you said, Luke, unless Prep has a big rally, a miracle, whatever you like to call it, in them, a touchdown here could put the game away. And that's Khalil Holiday on the carry, loses 1 for the Irish, and that will back them up to the 22. And you can see that's not quite Jason Brown on the carry there. But Khalil Holiday, excellent nonetheless, just gets tripped up, can't quite stay on his feet. Let's see what the Irish want to do here on 2nd and 11. And Luke, you can say that this is not a position that they like to be in, second and long. Tell me more.
Yeah, I agree with you there. They're also having the clock tick down. They're not leaving a lot of time for Prep to come back from this. And
there you go. Khalil Holiday back with the carry. This time works out a little bit better for him as he's up the middle for a gain of about 5. Will remain third down and pretty long for the Irish. Jason Brown checks back in. Joe Gallagher, Sajay Jackson on the outside. Or, sorry, not Sajay Jackson. That would be number 83, Sam Lipscomb on the outside for the Irish. And, you know, it would be interesting here. They haven't brought it out much. They haven't brought it out often. But the pass from number 8, John Kohler, they haven't called his number. They're looking to him to make some plays here for the Irish. Could this be the time that they call his number? As he, yep, exactly. Pass over the middle to Tucker Ashcraft, and it's in for the touchdown. Just as I said, it's John Kohler to Tucker Ashcraft for 6 for the Irish. Incredible. And that, ladies and gentlemen, with 7:26 on the clock, will put the Irish up 27-13 over the Panthers. And you have to imagine that could be game. What do you think, Luke?
There's definitely not a lot that Prep could be doing right now. O'Day took a lot of time off of the clock. They got a touchdown. They have a chance to get 1 extra point from this, making the score from a 14-point gap to a 15-point gap with only 7 minutes and 26 seconds remaining in this game. I don't think there's a lot that Prep can do from here, and I think that O'Day, as long as they don't do anything bad, which I doubt they could possibly manage to lose this, it will be a win for O'Day later on.
Oh boy, big fall there by the linebacker for Prep, but that is up and good from Saverio DeSimone, who has been perfect thus far, and that will make it 28-13 and a 15-point lead. That is what you could call truly commanding for the Irish. Well, Luke, you heard me say it. You heard me talk about it. Could this be the time that they called number 8's number, John Kohler? And that is exactly what they did. They've spent all game. They're setting up the pass. They're making sure that they're establishing the run and making sure that that opportunity is there for them if they ever need to call Kohler's number late in the game. And I'm quite sure I predicted that exact play as they put it over the middle to Tucker Ashcraft down the hashes, and he makes a fantastic catch in the end zone, putting up 6 for the Irish.
Yeah, Harlan, you definitely did call what was going to be happening there. John Kohler has been waiting all game for that play. Everybody has wanted him to be doing successful, and just then he has gotten a completed pass play, which then resulted in a touchdown with the field goal as good.
Totally. Well, it has been quite a different story with Prep with 2 field goals, 2 for 2 on field goals to the kicker's credit. But that's not quite enough to match what the O'Day Irish have done in this second half, which is nothing short of offensive explosion. 28-13 now, which means the second half score rings up to 21-6 in favor of the Fighting Irish. And that is exactly what you want to see from the Irish offense, which has had struggles recently. And I'd say in their past 3 halves, they'd managed to put up about 10 points, and that's really subpar for a Monty Kohler offense. You want to see consistent scoring, and they hadn't been able to muster good drives. They hadn't been able to really run down their A-gaps behind Dylan Cohen, the new replacement center. But that drive worked out perfectly for them, and the drive before that. And they've been able to put up some serious numbers on Prep here as the kick is taken. Tries to find a gap, can't quite find one. Taken down quickly by Georgios Kotsakis, who has been all over the field tonight. What do you think about that, Luke, huh? That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I think Georgios has been doing outstanding this game. He's had a lot of great plays. He's had a lot of good stuff that's happened. He even scored a touchdown for O'Day earlier in this game. And Georgios is such a valuable player to this team, and he helps make O'Day what they are in football.
That's absolutely right. And what he is on the football field is a small part of what he is as an O'Day student, as an O'Day brother in the classroom. Just all-around impressive guy, but scoring touchdowns on the football field, making tackles on the kickoff. He can just about do it all as the Panthers take over on offense with a fake handoff. Braden Smith going to keep it himself to the right side, and he's going to run as there's a flag down, another flag down, and all of that just for 1 yard from Braden Smith. If the Panthers want to have a chance in this game, what they're going to need is an efficient drive. What do you think the most efficient strategy for the Panthers is, Luke?
Right now, it's hard to tell because they haven't been doing absolutely amazing in everything that they've been trying. But if I figure they could switch it up, like do a pass play and then 2 runs maybe and then another pass, that could potentially help them because O'Day is definitely figuring out what they're doing and stopping them a lot of the time. And a lot of the time when Seattle Prep moves up, it's mainly from a foul, and they definitely have to switch up their play style.
Totally agree, and there were some big penalties there on the Panthers, and exactly what you don't need. They're going to start this drive on first down, 10 yards behind the markers. Woof, that is a rough start to this drive, one that is going to be critical as we start to wind down below 7 minutes here. Here we go, more confusing sets. Looks like it may be a direct snap to one of the position players, to one of the skill players, sorry. But no, it's to Braden Smith, who will fake the handoff, run to the right side. Jet sweep pitch to number 5, who will try to find the edge, and is taken down. Oh my goodness, what a tackle. Sniffed out the sweep the whole way. Oh my goodness, and that's only a senior could make that play, but actually, that's not true because a junior just made that play. That's incredible from Brendan Murphy, who sniffed out that jet sweep the whole way, made an amazing tackle behind the line, and then proceeded to bring him down one-on-one, and this will back up the Panthers even more to the 5-yard line. And that's where they will start second down, and my goodness, I believe that's second down and 20 at least. And that'll be a big, deep pass over the head. Over the head, just a poor ball there from Braden Smith over the head of Will Floyd, and that's been a theme all night, Luke. Don't you agree?
It definitely has been, yeah, I agree with you 100%. But something that Prep definitely needs to be doing, they just have to pass it. I doubt that they would be able to run that entire distance, and they have to get out of there fast. If they have to do anything, it's right now, and they simply just have to get away from their end zone right there.
Yeah, well, that sets up a suboptimal opportunity. You can imagine O'Day will only be rushing 4 here, I would guess, but they are going to be all out, going to the quarterback, no questions asked. Here they go. Here they come. There's pressure in the backfield. Braden Smith scrambling out right. It's intercepted, and he's going to take it in. Brendan Murphy with the pick 6, and that will seal the game for the Irish. And there's a flag down in the end zone after the play. I believe that interception will still stand as Brendan Murphy, who made an incredible play on the jet sweep just 2 plays earlier, takes it into the end zone for 6 for the Irish. What a play to sniff out. And the pass rush there from the Irish came quickly and efficiently. Oh my goodness, and an amazing play on the ball and the ability to read the field and take it in for 6 from Brendan Murphy, who just had an amazing drive for the Irish. And I imagine, barring the most incredible comeback I've ever seen in the game of football, that will put the game away from the Irish. Just an amazing play on defense there from Brendan Murphy. Oh my goodness. What do you think about that, Luke? Holy cow.
I don't think that there's anything that Prep could be doing right now, and if O'Day gets this field goal right now, it'll be exactly the score as Prep's game last week against Eastside Catholic, 35-13, but as of right now, it is only 34-13.
Well, that's a great point. The Seattle Prep Panthers could fall into a little bit of a consistent slide here. You don't ever want to lose back-to-back games, but losing back-to-back games by the same identical score, that can start to get in your head a little bit.
It definitely could, but what they have to do is just forget that and just move on from that. It's not good to focus on what you've done, but only focus on what is to come.
That's for sure. And Severio DeSimone takes his 2 steps over. Kohler calls for the snap. The hold is down. The kick is up and through and good. And it is 35-13. The Irish in control here at West Seattle Stadium. We will take a break and see you in just a few seconds. And welcome back to West Seattle Stadium, where the Irish have just made a game-changing play on defense, a pick 6 from Brendan Murphy. Just an absolute incredible read on the ball, and then the awareness to take it in for 6 after just shows off how well coached, how efficient, and a football-minded team this is. They are really solid, and with some mental mistakes here and there, but those can always be fixed. But really, the football IQ on this team is ridiculous, considering these are a bunch of 17-year-olds, really. They're just kids, but they're out here showing you that they're really more than that, and that they can pull off a huge win under the pressure, under the Friday night lights, just like any other team could. And here's Severio DeSimone, perfect 3 for 3 on extra points, back to kick. I'm going to have to guess it'll be another squib. They haven't kicked to them all night. And, well, I was wrong on that, and it'll be a long kick back inside the 10, picked up by the quarterback, Braden Smith, who will run it back, try to find a gap, makes a man miss, makes another man miss. That could be a holding call, but for now it's going to stand, and then it'll run out to the 40-yard line, gets out of bounds. What an amazing kickoff return. That was about 35 yards, but I imagine he ran about 60. Well, Luke, what do you need to see from the Prep offense here to have even a glimmer of hope with about 6 minutes remaining on the clock?
So right now, even though that Prep does not look to be in a good situation right now, they still definitely should not be giving up. I mean, there's not a complete 0 chance that you're going to lose this game until the game's actually over. They could still come out there, maybe not get past 35 points, but they could potentially come back and get a few extra points on the board to help them out today.
Oh, totally 100% with you on that. I think that this game is probably decided. I don't think that's a reach, barring probably the greatest comeback in the history of football ever from Seattle Prep, which is not exactly the mentality we've seen from them today. This game is probably over, as that is another errant pass from Braden Smith, who has not looked quite right all day. Just looks bad. Just can't put a throw on the money to save his life tonight. Looked good on the ground, to be fair. I mean, you know, your thoughts?
I think that right now Prep, they're not doing this drive. I mean, they had a good run on the kickoff, but right now they just got to focus on just they got to focus on getting the ball down there just to show that they aren't giving up, and they're still showing that they're not giving up on this. But they got to be able to cooperate with each other and beat the O'Day defense right here.
Unbelievable. Brendan Smith finally puts a good throw on the hands of his wide receiver, and it just slips right out of his hand. This Prep team has lost it. They do not want to be here. They're trying to go home and watch the Seattle Mariners compete for a playoff spot. And that honestly doesn't sound all that bad. But for now, O'Day enjoying a huge lead as there's pressure in the backfield, and Braden Smith makes a last-ditch effort to get the ball away. And that will go into the bench of the Irish, but huge pass rush there coming from number 56, Anthony Hall. Just a great play overall to make sure that you're not letting Braden Smith escape, which has been a problem for the Irish. He's not been able to beat them with their arms, but definitely has made men miss, not only in the backfield, but, oh my goodness. And Prep will indeed punt this ball away on 4th down with 5 minutes and 45 seconds. I would say that probably seals this game for the Irish. And a surprising choice from Coach Aaron Mall not to let your offense have one last-ditch attempt in it. And I would not be surprised at all to see a fake here from the Irish. Or, pardon me, from the Panthers. As the punt is dropped, but still gets it away. Kyle McDonald back for the Irish. And we'll just let it roll as it takes an incredible Prep bounce down to the 10. And that is where it will be downed by Prep to start the O'Day offense drive, which I know this is going to be a shocker. I can't wait for you guys to learn about this breaking news, but it's probably going to involve a lot of running. Luke, what do you think? Do you think they'll start to get more backups in for some experience? Or do you think they'll stick with the starters and try to run up the score on a rival?
I was actually thinking about that just now. I was thinking that they probably would put in a few people on JV maybe, just for their enjoyment maybe. But I could also just see them just keeping what they have. They don't want Prep to be scoring anything more than what they already have, obviously. But I could see O'Day putting a few people on JV just for them to enjoy this game.
Oh, well, it looks like they will be definitely out there with the starters as the handoff to Brown as he makes a man miss, makes a few more men miss, and he's loose up the middle, and he's dragged down. Oh, that was very close to a huge touchdown run for Jason Brown, and he is hyped up as the Irish not putting in any of their bench, keeping the starters in. They're going to run up the score on hated rival Seattle Prep. They are going to take Jason Brown out of the game. Gets a big high five from Coach Monty Kohler. Looks like they'll put in different corps in the backfield. And we will see them just grind this clock down all the way down with only 5 minutes to go. It shouldn't be a hard task. Looks like Prep has all but resigned as this will be wow, an amazing play. Yet another incredible play on defense by number 44, Austin Hardenow, on the carry by Georgios Kotsakis. And a little bit of a scuffle after the play, but all is well. Just a nice play up the gap. He has been one of the only Prep players to have some nice plays on defense, as they have just been really weak so far this game. It has been honestly a little bit weird to see how strong O'Day is pressing the gaps and the lack of adaptation from Prep coaches, Coach Mall, and their defensive coordinators, and all the people really that, like, even you'd think that their players on defense would be more adamant to get in the gaps, stop these, like, little A-gap dink and dunk plays like that from Kotsakis, who will take it straight up the middle. It's like a first down for the Irish, and that will move the chains again with the clock ticking under 4 minutes here to play. Wow, just a showcase of what this offense can do against a weakened, beaten down opponent. And, you know, I said it a few times in the first quarter, Luke. They have these long drives pretty much that look just like this in the first quarters. In the first 10 minutes, and then from there on out, the defense just gets worn down and tired. It's hard to make a lot of plays tackling some guys who are really hard to tackle in Kotsakis and Brown, as that will be number 34, Declan Brown, on the carry for his first carry of the game, I believe, and he will be 11 yards downfield for another first down, moving the chains relentlessly. Looks like they may have taken Jason Brown out of this game. Well, the offensive line for the Irish, well, have some mental mistakes and a few holding penalties, some big plays brought back, but has been nearly impeccable, opening up huge holes for Kotsakis, Brown, and now Declan Brown to run through. They've been great all night. Don't expect them to stop here, as the handoff is to Brown again, who will secure the ball, make a few cuts, take it up the middle, but only for a gain of 2 or 3. As the clock is tick, down to 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and this game should be over. Well, the effort from Prep seemed to take a hard decline at the beginning of the second half when O'Day kind of just came out and steamrolled them. I mean, Luke, what have you seen from this Prep defense that is just weakened really in the second half? Do you think it's more because, and that's Declan Brown making a few men miss, but really impeccable blocking there from the line as he's up for a gain of about 14 and another Irish first down. So, Luke, what do you think it was about this Irish offense? Do you think they came out harder? Do you think that their drives in the first half have worn down Prep? Or what do you think about this second half that's changed for O'Day?
So definitely something that changed for O'Day this second half is 100% their offense. They started this second half with very few points, and they've gotten it up to 35 in the duration of one half. And they've definitely improved their status from the first half.
Ooh, and that's a carry for Brady McHugh, who gets hit pretty hard up the A-gap, a missed block there. Brady McHugh, also the long snapper for this team, out there on the carry. And it looks like they will start to sub out their players and indeed put in some backups to get some reps for the Irish. Just a really impressive effort here from the Irish in the second half. You saw what we saw in the first quarter, which was, pardon me. At the beginning of the second half, me and Luke were saying that whichever team wants this more is going to be the team that comes away with the game. And that's exactly what we've seen here, as that looks to be Brown again on the carry up the middle for about 7. And it really did show that O'Day ended up wanting it more. They wanted it more than Prep. They came out with more intensity. They came out harder. They came out faster, and they didn't allow themselves to be beaten down by a tough first half battle, which is what it was. It was a first half battle. It was impressive to see these guys play such a tough first half, and really shocking to see such a blowout in the second. You'd think that after the first half, Prep would keep this game close. But with 26 seconds left, the Irish will go into victory formation. Kohler will take a knee, and that will be the end of this game. Final score, your O'Day Fighting Irish 35, Seattle Prep Panthers 13. And live from West Seattle Stadium, that was quite the rivalry game. And we will just watch these teams shake hands after the field. A big rivalry win for the Irish, who will look to continue their run next week as they take a big rivalry win over Seattle Prep here in West Seattle Stadium as the clock ticks down to double zeros. Luke, any final thoughts on this game as we wrap up the stream?
I think the main thing that O'Day had in the second half that Seattle Prep did not have was motivation. They came out here in the second half after an all right first half, I'd say, and they came out here ready to prove that they deserved this win, and they definitely showed that to everybody here.
Yeah, they did. Man, that was an impressive second half showing from the Irish. Let us remind you that the score at the end of the second half was, at the end of the first half, was completely knotted up, 7-7. The Irish just showed real domination here in the second half to come away with a big, big rivalry win over Seattle Prep. And just an impressive showing of effort, of hustle, of grit, of toughness here on a frigid night in West Seattle. The Irish will come away with the win as they trot off the field to applause from their student section. Applause from the Rowdy Pack. They're juiced up, they're gassed up, they fought hard, and the O'Day Irish come away with a win. And that is good night from me and Luke Hardy. Luke?
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we will see you next week.
It was a fun time, eh?
It was.
All right, see you next week here live on YouTube with the O'Day Fighting Irish.